Welcome to the OBT show. I'm Chris.
I'm Brendan.
Oh.
Yeah, I touched Chris's hands during that intro.
That's fine. You know what?
Good.
It made me less nervous. Now I'm going to play with this.
I know, because I don't know why I did that. I thought it would throw you off, but I should know better by now that it doesn't.
Your gentle embrace warms my cold,
Your cold, dead heart. I'm sorry.
Tiny and dead and
Tiny,
cold.
dead heart. The winter makes Chris's heart dead and tired and cold.
I'm the living impersonation of the Grinch.
No, you're a beautiful man.
But not after yesterday. I'm not. I am an excited puppy. You want to know why?
Why? Because the Seahawks won.
Woohoo!
Well, yeah, we're recording the day after the Super Bowl. This will probably be up, Wednesday? Mm-hmm. Maybe even tomorrow.
Even tomorrow.
But you and I, you came over to my apartmento. Mm-hmm. We had some beer.
We did.
I got some craft beer. You had some of it. You stuck with Budweiser, though.
Yeah, because I just figured I like Budweiser.
I know. I tried to, but you were nice. And
wanted
you
a taste
sampled.
of America.
I know. You really were truly American when you came in with the, what was it, 19-pack, 20-pack? What was that?
18.
18-pack?
Well, I was going to get a 12, but then they had this special get a free glass. If
And you
buy
gave
18.
it to me.
Yeah, because it says the
Thank you.
Giants on it, but yeah, I wanted you to have it.
There was sticky stuff on the bottom that I'm still soaking.
That's fine.
All right.
You're not going to die.
I get nervous. You know how I am.
You might die.
Why is Garmin...
Hey, Garmin!
I'm sorry, everybody, but this
Invading
computer,
the
again,
pod.
I don't use it that much. And oh, there we go. We're still recording. Cool.
We're still recording.
But yeah, super lopsided win. And hey, some little cross-promotion. Tuesday night marks the start of my WFMP show back.
Hey-o.
We'll get more in detail about about the Super Bowl then, but it was sad. It was kind of a sad bowl.
I was happy.
Well, you were happy, but I think, and we had this discussion last night.
It was sad for Peyton and for Eli.
Well, that sad Eli was the best. Fox was beautiful because they knew just when to capture and take sad Eli. I made it my Facebook cover page.
Air breathing, mouth agape. I'm sad.
Why's my brother not playing well?
Peyton, you took my advice too literally.
He literally played like Eli Manning plays when he is in MetLife. Like you're right. He almost took too much advice.
Yeah.
From Eli. What a dummy.
I don't know what was going on. Peyton just looked off big time.
He looked really bad. I mean, it was there was a lot of injuries on the defense. 3 key injuries on that line I was reading today. I didn't even realize. And then Champ Bailey didn't play like Champ Bailey. He was just getting destroyed
he's getting old.
on fade routes.
That's not a position that you can be old.
No, it's not. I mean, it's. But I think, and you and I were having this discussion. What's a better Super Bowl? One that one team is dominant over, or one that's close?
I mean, it's a better Super Bowl for everyone if it's
Right.
close, because then it's like you're sitting there glued in.
Right.
And but I think yesterday it was just good because it was quick. It wasn't like a very long, drawn-out loss where you're just sitting there going like, "Oh my god!"
Well, I feel that that's true because it ended like what 9:45.
Yeah,
that was crazy how fast that game was.
I mean, because it was happening. You didn't really get a chance to absorb the fact at halftime that the Broncos were being shut out. Like you're just like, "What's going on?" Oh, Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
and then right back into football.
Well, did they start it earlier?
No, I don't think so.
No, I feel like. Why do I feel like it was always like much like 11 o'clock end time?
I think the second quarter went by really fast.
Yeah. Well, that's because they just couldn't the Broncos couldn't stop the Seahawks, or the Seahawks were just dominating the defense of the Broncos.
I think
so it just kept moving. The game just kept moving because it was 3rd and outs, and then Seattle would dominate and control the clock, and then it would be back to the Broncos 3rd and out, and then Seattle would just kill more clock.
Well, in the first, it was like the Seahawks were looking to like get their groove going,
Yeah.
and then in the second, that's when they were ticking time off the clock, and the same thing with the third quarter, they were just ticking time off the clock like it was nothing. Like, oh, here goes 3 minutes, gone.
Right.
Okay, here goes another 4 minutes, gone. And then on top of that, every single time the Broncos had the ball, they were coughing it up. Demaryius Thomas had a fumble. Peyton threw 2 picks.
One for a touchdown. Shit. And then you had the miscommunication right to kick off the game with a safety.
Yeah, that was the fastest scoring
that was
points
nuts.
in Super Bowl history. The only way it'll get faster is if someone does it again next year without any return.
Or you do it on a kick. Yeah, it has to be a kickoff return.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I think it was fun though to watch. Like the party that we had was cool. It was fun. I had more fun talking to people than I did actually watching the game. It was a solid group. It was a small group. It wasn't big. It was like 8 people max. It was a good time. You had a good time. You ate a lot.
Yeah.
I have leftovers.
Some good nomin.
I'm going to eat
Nom-noms.
leftovers.
Leftover nom noms. I have leftover beer nom noms.
Yeah, you did. We gave you back all your beer. Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Well, because I know you like it, so.
Happy bears, happy.
Happy bears, happy. We didn't want to keep it. I mean, I wasn't going to be able to drink all that on my own.
Yeah, no. I realized once I picked it up, I was like, oh man. I was like, there's no way he's going to drink.
No.
Because there's still other stuff that was in there.
I know. I kept some of the beer.
Some of the beers.
Some of the beers. I kept like two Coronas, and I kept the IPAs, the Lagunas, because I like those. I'm
Tasty.
greedy. But the big thing, all right, enough sports. This is not, people don't listen to for the sports.
No, but we needed to talk about it.
Oh yeah, of course. But the big thing that I don't think we needed to talk about it. We need to talk about the two big movie commercials that we saw that as fanboys, we're very excited about.
Hype.
Hype.
What were you most hype about?
I think I was most hyped about Captain America Winter Soldier. Yeah. We got a nice little taste. A little bit of a tasty taste. That was an extended trailer. Mm-hmm. You saw a little bit more of you actually saw a lot more of the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, this was a Winter Soldier trailer.
Yep.
People are probably watching all the earlier trailers going like, what the hell is this shit? Looking up online to figure it out. But for those that are the dumb audience shouldn't say dumb. The lazy audience that doesn't care to look up information.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You don't have to do that to be accepted into the movie crowd. You just got handed to you. This is what's going on.
And it's awesome.
And if you don't want to look up any more past that, fine. But I'm telling you, at least like 30,000 more people were going, okay, I need to know more about what this Winter Soldier stuff is because that was awesome. It was just such a good-looking movie trailer.
I think I liked that it seems very close to the story, the original story, and Ed Brubaker is still going to be credited. He's listed as a story consultant, so he knows exactly what happens. They brought him in. And he tweeted out something like, this is a couple of months ago, but he wrote something like, I know you want to know about it, but I can't tell you because I am signed up contractually up the wazoo with Marvel and Disney, so I will die if I leak anything. So, but I think that was cool. And once I heard that he was involved, I felt better about it. But again, you're right, man. I mean, this trailer was just sick.
It was classy.
Yep.
Falcon, you got 3 more looks at him in action and, in comic relief.
Yep.
I'm just excited. Well, I mean, he wasn't it was Cap was being funny, but I mean, still, just how do I know which one's the bad guys?
Yeah, no, it's the ones that's shooting at you.
They're the bad guys.
Yeah, they're the bad guys. But I like it because I think the story is going to also be sort of what about our military-industrial complex? It's sort of like which is cool. The best Captain America stories, in my opinion, are the ones where he struggles with being Captain America, the embodiment of America, and what does that mean? Does he have to agree to everything that's going on, and then he starts to feel guilty about not agreeing, and then it really ends up being very cool stories.
I think the big line was like where he's saying like I joined S.H.I.E.L.D. to protect people, and then Robert Redford comes in just saying like he's basically you might need to reevaluate your views.
And pretty much he says sometimes to save societies you have to tear one down. And I was like, that's awesome.
There's gonna be some Robert Redford and Samuel L. Jackson clash at some point in the movie.
Probably.
Somebody dies. And it's big because they're at the end of the trailer, like I caught it like on the second or third watch through. Scarlett Johansson's like standing next to a body that's like got a sheet draped over it, and Cap is there too, and she's like all sad looking. So it's like somebody important dies in the movie. So this should be interesting.
Well, Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson's contract is up, so he's been mentioning that. But does that make you sad that it's up and they haven't locked him in?
I mean, if they can bring back Agent Coulson from
that's
the
the
dead.
other thing too. I mean, Nick Fury, for those of you who don't know, in the comic books, there's something called LMDs, life model decoys, where Nick Fury, because he's a paranoid strategist, realized that obviously he's a man that is likely to get killed and people want to kill him. So he made life model decoys.
Assassination.
Yes, assassinations. And
I'm so glad that you said that.
Assassinations. So he would send out this basically robot decoy, and then if his head blown up, but it was looked like actually he really died, but then they'd open it up and it'd be like, oh, he's got robot parts, and then real Nick Fury would communicate from some speaker in there and be like, oh, I'm in a bunker, so I knew something was going to go down. I'm going to go underground. And those are fun stories too. Secret Invasion was a lot like that. People thought Nick Fury died. And actually, Nick Fury stepped off in the Marvel Universe after Secret War, and no one could find him. And then he pops up in Secret Invasion because he was planning a response to what he knew was coming that people were ignoring.
Guess what? I'm not dead.
Pretty much. And he had like this weird old school like 60s bunker with no technology in it because he knew that you could be tracked, and that's why Tony Stark couldn't find him. So it's cool. So if they bring that element in, I'm all about it because it makes Nick Fury even more of a badass.
Yeah, and I think that it would make sense too, since they haven't really locked him in for anything yet. Like he might miss out on one movie maybe, and then bam, they'll have him in for like the next set of movies,
which would be cool. Which I think that's they got to keep him because
it's a grueling process, you know. Like they're putting out a lot of these movies, and
he's showing up in the TV show too.
That's asking a lot of you as an actor to be like, guess what? I know you're contractually you're signed up for all of this stuff, but you have to do it, and there's a lot of filming. And it's all on one subject. There's not a lot of versatility to do other projects when you're locked into these big budget things. It takes up that portion of your career.
Right. But I think it's going to be fun. It should be good. It should be a good movie. So I think that one we were really excited about, right?
Yes.
Was there anything else? I mean, really, you got more, like you said, Falcon, a little bit more Scarlett Johansson, but it looks like it is a serious superhero movie, which is cool. And finally, Captain America fully fleshed out in the real world.
And I mean, for some reason, this movie looks better.
It looks better than the first one.
Prettier, and whoever was behind the camera was just like, we want this one scene right here to make you just stop and go,
yep,
look at everything.
Yeah.
Sorry you can't pause it, but tough. And then it goes on to the next scene, and you're just like, oh, wow, that was really aesthetically pleasing looking shot.
Yeah.
And that's the stuff that they're putting in the trailer. I can only assume that if it's that quality, it's going to maintain that quality throughout the movie. So that for me as like a visual person, I was like, this movie looks good.
And you were telling me they already locked in the guys that did number 2 for number 3 because it's testing so well.
Yeah, they're going to keep them around. The test audiences are loving it. They're just saying like, this is a good movie. Thank you very much for making a good Marvel movie, making a good spy movie, making a good action movie.
I agree.
We'll take it all.
So excited. The other big movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Less excitement, but still.
You got a little bit more. You got to see what the Rhino looked like for once, because in the previews he was sort of very brief, if I remember correctly. I don't remember.
You saw a lot of clunking, like.
Yeah, but you see it kind of come together like a transformer almost. You saw the tease of the Green Goblin again. It's highly likely it's Norman Osborn and not Norman, Harry Osborn. I think they're going direct to Harry and then skipping Norman, which I'm like,
it's
maybe.
fine though, because in this universe that they're doing, they're gonna really actually try to set up,
Sinister Six
is gonna be there, and it's gonna be crazy.
But I feel like the tagline is "Villains Unite," which never bodes well when the focus is on the villains too much.
This is going to have a sad ending for those that are looking for a happy ending. This is going to have a sad ending. That's all I'm going to say.
This is your Empire Strikes Back moment for this series.
Because
someone's going to get a hand cut off or something.
When they were talking about doing this series and they were, approaching it with the characters, I'm not going to say which names because I don't want you to look it up and ruin it for yourself.
G.S.
Sad things happen in this storyline, which sets up for later storylines.
Right, which...
It needs to happen, and if they do it right, I will be very, very impressed.
If they do it wrong, it's going to be terrible.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be so bad.
And it's a really tough one to do.
They at least got the costume right. That I'm like. They got like this person's set outfit for what
I don't
is
feel
bound
like we're
to
necessarily
happen.
Spoiling because it's already been out there for about 40 years.
Yeah. Gwen Stacy's going to die.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
I like how you had like little to no resistance. You're like, yeah, she's going to die.
I know. Well, I like spoiling stuff for people, but I'm trying to be nice.
Well, I mean, it's in the comic books.
New personality.
I like that. I like that. Consider it, Bear. But in the comic books, Green Goblin kidnaps Gwen Stacy and then throws her off a bridge, and then Spider-Man uses his web to save her, but the web yanks her and he snaps her neck.
And she dies.
Dead. And then he's haunted by it, and then he's even more not into being with Mary Jane, and that's a whole thing. But if they do it right, it's tough, man. I mean, because it's gonna be, that has to be done well for it to work.
Fingers crossed. Because they screwed up on the first movie. That's the way I feel.
What did you not like about the first movie again? Everything.
Anything that involved Andrew Garfield not being Spider-Man.
Can you do your impersonation of him talking?
When he's talking, I just need a lot of lip biting. Like I want to tell you, but I can't.
It's painful to watch.
It's painful.
A weird. It's a painful process that he goes through.
But when he's Spider-Man, he is a good Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. Just when he's not Spider-Man, he's a terrible Peter Parker.
The other thing that's kind of tough for me to digest as a comics fan is that it's implied heavily in the trailer that all of the villains are somehow connected to Oscorp. And there's a scene where somebody's walking through and you see a hallway and you see Dr. Octopus's arms, you see Vulture's getup. And it's sort of like, I don't know, I'm a purist in the sense I like the concept of all these villains individually had run-ins with Spider-Man and were not. It's almost like these villains are being created to kill Spider-Man. It's a weird, I don't know, because even that's sort of what Electro says, something in the vein of it's time to kill a spider or something like that. And it's like, well, are you... And it sounds like he's saying that when he's being created. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it makes it kind of cut and dry, like... that's it. That's why I hate Spider-Man, as opposed to...
Well, something's going to happen in the movie that'll, kick it off.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason.
That they all get together and want to kill Spider-Man. Yeah. But I'll be curious to see what they do with Dr. Octopus, because that is such a cool story.
We're not getting everyone yet, right?
Right.
We're only getting, 3.
We're only getting Rhino, Electro, and Green Goblin. But who knows if it's a short visit of Green Goblin.
Yeah, true.
The main one, and Rhino, quite honestly, looks and feels like sort of the prelude or the first third villain, and then he gets put away. I don't think you're going to have I don't think you're going to have Rhino be your main villain. It's going to be Electro, and then you're probably going to get a hint of Green Goblin at the end fighting. But I think it's all going to be very, very brief. Almost like Sonic.
There's going to be a vial in the background, and it's going to have this black goop moving around on its own, and there you're going to be like,
but who they get from Eddie Brock is key too. They need a jock.
Yeah, it needs to be a jock. Thank you so much. I was just like, in my head, I'm just going, the guy needs to be built, and he needs to be tall, and he needs to look like a jerk.
He can't look like a sarcastic ass.
Now, we were talking about Ryan Quanten, the guy from True Blood.
Yes.
He did a short, Venom,
that's right.
Venom story movie.
See it. Yeah,
it was really good. He played the part right because he's like a muscular guy.
Yeah.
So it kind of looks right. He's not as big and brooding as the Eddie Brock that we know from the comics, but it made more sense. Like it was more appropriate than Topher Grace.
Which
it was awful.
It was
worst
awful.
Casting.
He would have been a better Spider-Man at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously, he probably could have been better Spider-Man.
And then he was playing a snarky, like, I'm a badass Venom, when I was like, that's terrible.
No, because it didn't fit to begin with. It just was off from the get-go.
And who owns Fantastic Four again? Is that still Sony?
I think so. I don't think they're...
Because that'd be cool, because that's actually how Venom comes to be, because Reed Richards warns Spider-Man, hey, man, this shit you got on your black suit, that's terrible looking and bad for you. And he's like, I'm okay, I can handle it. And then Reed Richards helps him get rid of it.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Because of the Sonic.
Because of the Sonic. Because he doesn't like heat. He doesn't like sound.
Sound is bad.
And then there's Carnage too, which is a whole other thing.
Yeah, Carnage is fucked up.
Yeah, they overdid it. It was very much NWO for wrestling fans out there, WCW, where NWO started out really cool and then everybody joined it, including like janitors. And then which I'm sure is probably a storyline, even though I'm making it up right now. I'm sure that's what Eric Bischoff did. And then they had like 9 symbiotes. And it was some weird called separation anxiety, where the government took pieces from battles that Venom had and then created their own army. It was like so stupid. But then eventually Venom absorbed all of them in this like really kind of gross mini-series where he hunts them all down and absorbs back his symbiote.
Carnage is still the best one.
He is pretty awesome.
Some fucked up shit. If you ever want to read a really, really messed up comic, is Carnage Mind Mob. That one for 13-year-old Chris was very weird. Well, I read that and I went, oh.
Well, Carnage USA is also one that is really messed up. That's recent. It's where Carnage takes over a small town. He literally kills everybody and absorbs them.
Well, the guy's a serial killer to begin with, right?
And Cletus Cassidy.
Yeah.
It's gross. And then there's Minimum Carnage where you get shrunk, which is it's like a more humorous take. Because Maximum Carnage was this ridiculously long 20-part series. That was like 20 parts spread out over 20 months, not just...
That's a long story.
That's a long ass story, and with Captain America showing it made a great video game for Super Nintendo. It was fun.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
Holy crap, was that? And it was a hard game too.
Spidey Venom team up.
It was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. I liked it. Where are we at? Oh, we got time.
We got time. I'm a big I'm a big wrestling fan. I watch it religiously. You watch it.
I do.
The pay-per-views, but you don't really watch Raw so much.
We're gonna go into wrestling now.
I'm transitioning, man.
Oh, we have to talk about a major letdown before we go into. Wrestling.
Go ahead.
Starring our favorite Marky Mark, Michael Bay at his finest.
Everybody move! That's all I heard.
All I heard was Jessica.
There's a Dinobot.
We're talking about Transformers.
There's a Tyrannosaurus Rex robot.
They want to do Beast Wars. It's so bad.
I hate it. I effing hate it already.
You could feel the room just like
no one knows.
The air's let out of the balloon.
We all watched that like, what is this? We knew like it was Transformers, but what is it? Like it was Optimus Prime all, I don't know, looking weird, and then he's riding on top of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yeah. It's like a 5-year-old made it. Mm-hmm. That's 5-year-old me was like, that's awesome, and I would do that shit. I don't want to see it.
No,
I don't want to see it.
I'm not interested.
But you know what's gonna piss us both off is when that is like $100 million opening weekend.
Oh yeah, because people are going to go see it. People are going to see this movie regardless of if they want to or not, like me.
Yep. I'll probably still see it. I'm going to hate watch it.
I'm going to hate the whole time. I'm going to hate it just like I hated the first one. I hated the second one. I really hated the third one. But I'm really going to hate.
I'm going to hate all of it.
Actually, I think I hated the second one more than I hated the third one. Just because the action in the
second
one
was the racist one.
Yeah, the second one was the racist one, and they fucked up one of the most badass characters who had almost no exposure in the universe. They could have made the
Which
Fallen.
One was that? Oh yeah, the Fallen.
They could have made him so much more badass, and then they just made him like, I have all of these powers, but I'm not going to really use any of them, and I'm going to get beaten.
I don't even remember the third. What happened in the third?
The third one was the one where they find the old Autobot, but he had jumped ship prior to him crashing
on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah, he went bad guy.
And that's the one with the caterpillar type.
Yeah, the crazy thing that was the same thing that was in
that Avengers. Somehow Shia LaBeouf, a human, managed to avoid. So stupid.
No, at that point he wasn't Shia LaBeouf anymore. He was Shia LaBeefcake. He put on some muscles for the third movie.
And then Tyrese Gibbons just shows up with a gun and was like, "We got to keep moving." All the army guys did in those films was run around.
Yeah, and shoot.
But they're always terrible at their jobs.
Very awful.
So that we have something to look forward to.
Yay!
That's a drunk watch for me. That'd be get some beers and that's the only way I can enjoy it.
I'll see you in the summer.
Yeah, we'll be there.
We'll be there.
All right.
Transition time.
I'm a big day-to-day wrestling fan. I read the reports. And last Monday night, CM Punk. Those of you who are fans, he's a big-time wrestler, been a world champion. He is a hugely popular character.
Yeah.
He can be he's one of those guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock. You know, they're bad guys. They're supposed to get booed, they get cheered. And then when they're good guys, they get cheered even louder. Well, on last Monday, the Monday after the Royal Rumble, CM Punk wasn't on the show. And the initial thought was he's selling the effects of the choke slam that Kane did. They did an angle where Kane was in the Royal Rumble. He got eliminated by Punk. He came back, which is something they do often. They usually do it once a year. Guy comes back, throws Punk out of the ring, and then choke slams him through one of the announce tables. So you're like, all right, fine. So then reports start surfacing that CM Punk actually quit the WWE.
He's going home.
And he's going home. And the reports that were according to TMZ, actually ESPN even had a reporter there, and also the dirt sheets that reference the numerous wrestling websites that report on rumors and things like that, was that CM Punk legitimately quit.
Well, I mean, it's been hands down decided by the fans. A lot of the WWE critiques that Royal Rumble was awful.
Yeah, Royal Rumble was terrible.
Off, and I think maybe that was his final, like, I don't want to be a part of this.
And I was angry. You can listen to the last episode last week when I was angry because I was upset about Royal Rumble. The more reports surfaced that it was actually because they wanted him to come out there and say he had a concussion. They were doing a concussion storyline, and he was like, "That's dumb. I'm not doing that." And then he just quit. But he has said in previous interviews, right? Which I think, and if that's the case, shame on WWE, because you should not make light of a concussion.
No, it's serious.
And I don't know why they would, given what the NFL has been dealing with for the last 3 years of people telling them that they're terrible people due to concussions.
Chris Benoit much?
Chris Benoit, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot that they shouldn't go down that path if that was what they wanted to do.
Big time.
There were reports that CM Punk met directly with Vince McMahon because they do have an established relationship, and that Vince is actually handling this. And handling it means trying to reach out to Punk, and no one else is. But he literally just left about 2 hours before showtime. He said, "I'm done," and walked out. Said, "I'm going home." And you and I were talking before we recorded, like, did he just say, like, "I'm going home," and that was it? It seems like he said, "I quit. I'm going home." WDB stopped following him on Twitter.
Wow.
They pulled, which in social media world is big.
Yeah.
They pulled him from the WrestleMania access and replaced him with Big Show or Ric Flair. I forget who.
Okay.
They canceled, and the big thing, the next upcoming event that they had him at was At Midnight, the show that Chris Hardwick is the host of on Comedy Central at midnight.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a WWE themed show with The Miz and one retired wrestler and CM Punk. WWE has since canceled The Miz's appearance, but Punk is still scheduled. So the question is, will he actually show up? And this would be his first scheduled appearance post WWE.
Interesting.
But he did a couple of interviews with MMA websites and said that, they asked him about his contract. He's like, "I have no idea. It's up in the air," because July was the end of his contract. And backstage reports and rumors say that he was always saying that he was done. And he'd been working through numerous injuries, going to all the house shows, it's a crazy schedule.
Yeah.
And working through pain. And he was pissed off also that he wasn't in the main event, which I agree with. He was set for a program with Triple H. Right now, though, WWE has not officially acknowledged anything with Punk, which is really weird, which I'm assuming they'll have to. I don't really know where they are broadcasting tonight, but it's very likely that you will hear CM Punk chants, and I'm very curious to see what they do. So that's why I'm tuning in, because I want to see how weird this gets.
I'm going to auto-tune it into...
Oh, yeah. Well, all future broadcasts. See, SmackDown, you can't get away with that, because on SmackDown, they edit it, and it's taped.
Yeah.
So they can edit it to however they see fit. But Monday Night Raw can get easily hijacked, which is why it's kind of fun to watch.
Hey man, the fans want what they want.
I think it's probably in Punk's best interest long term. I mean, I get it. I don't
as long as he doesn't murder anyone, they'll still recognize that he's a wrestler.
Right,
so
and I don't feel bad about it.
sign.
I'm not in the camp of people like, well, he has a job to do and do it. Like, you tried doing that schedule. It's a fucking ridiculous schedule for an athlete, a pro athlete, to go through. It's not the equivalent of playing, back-to-back NFL games, but it's asking a lot of a guy to do all the traveling, do the promotional appearances. There's a lot that goes into it.
And you still have to, stay healthy, work out, eat on a specific regimen, like...
Go through a table,
Yeah.
Go through a fucking table.
So this morning I had a salad and I
Right.
had a Nutri-Grain bar. I got hit with a chair 30 times.
Yep.
And afterwards I had meatballs. They were vegan meatballs.
Vegan meatballs.
Yeah.
So the question is... from part of me, honestly, because I've watched a lot of Punk matches, he's given his life to WWE.
Yeah.
If he's done, God bless him. I got nothing to say bad about it. I think that's awesome. I think he should go out on his own terms. You don't want to see him be that guy that's trying to still wrestle. Like, as much as I know you love the New Age Outlaws, it's really tough to watch them be champions, which is another bullshit move, the WWE. And when you realize that there's a wealth of talent that they have that they're not using, and they're giving it to guys that are in their late 40s that can't move as well, that are only really there to do their main spots.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You can't ask them to do a lot.
It was just nostalgic to see them.
It was cool,
and
but
hear the intro and watch them win.
Well, like, let them do the intro, but don't make them champs.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like, there was a lot of the fan base that had to have been happy, and then a lot of the people that are actual legit fans that were like, what the fuck?
And I think
I'm not a what the fuck person. I'm glad I got to see him.
Well, I think but when you watch it and you get to see the talent, and especially WrestleMania, the last 3 or 4 have been headlined by guys who are part-timers, which was what also Punk was upset about, how Batista at 45 years old doesn't have any matches before the Rumble, and then he wins it. It's just like, stop it.
And then The Rock.
I know it's
2 years
scripted.
in a row, right?
Right. And he, he also was pissed off about his program with The Rock, dropping the belt to The Rock. He thought he shouldn't have done it, which, yeah, I mean, build up a storyline. Don't just, screw around for 9 months and then figure out 3 months before Mania, we'll just give it to this guy. Yeah, this is a good program. Right. So it's all bad. And then also the Daniel O'Brien thing where they're a way over wrestler with the yes chance that they're not utilizing.
Yes. No.
Oh, I'm sorry, burped.
Yes. No.
So, Punk, do you think that is it a work, meaning that it is actually part of the storyline, or a shoot?
I think he's probably one of the more genuine people that's in
the movie. I agree.
Just from what I've seen of like how he interacts with people, and I think that it's not for show this time. I mean, it could be. It could be all a ruse, but I would hope not. Especially if the line that was being sent out was just saying he just wanted to go home. Mm-hmm. Like that's like all right, man, you're tired. We get it.
Yeah.
No one's going to be mad about that. No one's going to be like, oh, fuck Punk for leaving. Yeah. Blah, blah. No, everyone's going to be like, you know what? You gave a hell
of a show.
Good for you. You got paid money. You did what you had to do. You impressed and made lots of fans. What else do you want from someone in that business?
I agree. I agree. So, hey, man, what'd you learn? We got to wrap this thing up.
What did I learn today? We didn't talk about the awesome 80s commercial that Radio Shack had. That's what I learned.
That was a good one.
That was awesome. It was so good. What did you learn today?
Mud Mountain.
Mud Mountain.
Chris said that's what he referred to his poop as. My name's Brendan.
My name's Chris.
Mud Mountain.